In the crowded rogues gallery of history, there are some villains that really stand out in terms of their sheer cold brutality, and others in terms of their nefarious plotting. Then there are those that manage to do both. William Douglas, 8th Earl of Douglas, Lord of Galloway and Laird of Threave Castle, was one such villain. His story is a tale that starts badly and gets very much worse, and might at times seem like something George R.R. Martin conjured up in the pages of Game of Thrones. Well, actually some of it pretty much inspired events in Game of Thrones, but as you might see, history can be at least as brutal as that particular master of fantasy fiction. William Douglas had inherited Threave along with the titles of the Douglases from his father, James Douglas, who had inherited them when the 16-year-old 6th Earl of Douglas and his younger brother were executed during the events of the infamous Black Dinner. It is often thought that James Douglas was personally involved in the plot to kill them. James Douglas lived for only 3 years after inheriting the title, and so William became the 8th Earl of Douglas. He went on to marry Margaret, fair maid of Galloway, who was the 6th Earl's sister. They had to obtain a special dispensation from the Pope to marry because they were first cousins. He made a fiefdom of his own here in Galloway, based from Threave, and also made a compact of mutual defence with the Earls of Crawford and Ross, which made them a threat to King James because of the large swathe of Scotland that was under their control. Already a battle-hardened warrior, having been involved with the wars in France, William ruled Galloway with a brutal fist. William decided that the MacLellan at Threave Castle, known as the Tutor of Bombay, was too friendly with the king. He laid siege to the castle, and according to Robert Trotter in Galloway Gossip, it held out for a considerable time until a man who was disgruntled with Bombay slipped out and made a deal with William to let his men into the castle in exchange for a ladle full of gold. Once the castle had been taken and most of the inhabitants either killed or captured, William called forward the traitor, saying, "This is the man that sold the castle into my hands, and this is how Douglas rewards the villain that betrays his master." His men came forward with a ladle full of molten gold. "Drink it up," he ordered the traitor. The man begged for his life, but Douglas's men held him down and forced him to drink the gold. The Tutor of Bombay was taken to Threave Castle, where he was held captive. When the king sent a letter with Sir Patrick Grey begging William to take care of his prisoner, William, guessing why Sir Patrick had come, stalled him by offering him dinner, first saying, "It is ill talking between a full man and a fasting one." Now, while Sir Patrick was eating dinner, William had his prisoner beheaded outside the keep. Once dinner was finished, he read the letter from the king, then led Sir Patrick outside and told him he could take the body. After this, the king invited William to Stirling Castle to talk about things, offering him safe passage. But the debate soon became heated, and suddenly James snapped, drew out his dagger and lunged at William, stabbing him. Then his courtiers also joined in, and finally Sir Patrick struck out his brains with a pole axe. His body was then thrown out of the window and buried secretly in Stirling, a gruesome end for a brutal man.